So I want to touch on something, or not something. Obviously, it's very big that everyone's been looking at, watching, and some people obviously dealing with it. What's going on right now between Israel and Iran? I'm very, very confused on why is it okay that over the years that you can dictate what goes on, you can decimate places, you can invade places, you can displace people, you can bomb different places and say it's for the good of the people. There are terrorist groups. They're trying to do all these horrendous things to you, and most people get what they want to see with the mainstream media, which obviously we all need to come to terms with this. Mainstream media is not no longer mainstream media. You need to look for independent outlets that are actually going to show you and give you the true story. Mainstream is going to give you the narrative, and it's going to give you to whatever political party is pushing that narrative, and it's going to give you the story that they want you to see and want you to believe. Now, without going any further into that, to continue with what I was saying, is why is it okay that you can continue to bomb, invade, displace, destroy, capture land, take over land, and have this grand master plan of what it is you're going to do, and have these comments and interviews that I have seen and have been posted on the internet as far as conversations and interviews that people have had, for example, when it came to Iran, that Iran is a year away from making nuclear weapons. And that was recorded by Netanyahu back in, I believe, 2014-15, which didn't happen. They didn't have any. And then later on, they're this far away from having it, and it didn't happen. And then there was another one with him in a video showing a nuclear weapon and saying, and here's where the nuclear warhead is. And they're only this many months away from having it. We have now been 10, 15 years from these messages and videos of them having all these things, which they still clearly do not have. This sounds very, very, very eerily just like what happened in Iraq. George Bush Jr., Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. It was later on discovered they never did, and it was publicly displayed they never did. He had literally come out afterwards and said, no, they never did have weapons of mass destruction, but he did threaten to kill my father, which gave him enough reason to go in there and invade Iraq and turn it into the place that it is now. Now, I'm not saying that Saddam Hussein was a good or a bad person. I'm not any person to be able to comment on that. But what I do know from people I've spoken to and from different things that I've seen and read over the years, that as long as you didn't defy him, which again is not a proper way to live, but as long as you didn't defy him, you lived in peace. You could praise whatever religion it is you wanted to. You had your health care, you had your colleges, you had all these different things. Now, again, you were still under a dictatorship, and just don't defy him, and you will live peacefully. And a lot of them said our country was perfectly fine with him in there as long as we did those things. Again, not a good way to live life, but it was what it was. Country is a complete different place and than what it was before. And it sounds the same thing now, that Iran. And now it's with their nuclear stuff. And then what are we going to find out after? They never had any. They haven't built it. Believe me, with the conflict that's going on there, if they had it, I'm sure they would have probably let it off by now, or at least signaled saying we do have it. And if you go any further, this is what we are going to do. They have signed the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty. They signed it a long time ago. They've allowed people to come in there. And just like what happened in Iraq, when you keep hitting us and bombarding us, we're going to say, you know what? Fuck you. Get out of here. And that's what they're doing now. Fuck you, get out of here. But now the United States and other people are like, oh, they're kicking us out because they're making bombs. No, they are having enough. And they said, fine, if you don't believe us, don't believe us. You're going to keep attacking us and hitting us and just, go as you please and do what you will. We're not going to be a part of this anymore. Well, everyone else on the other side, with the mainstream media, which we know nowadays, and most people should know, you can't trust. You need to go independent. Mainstream is going to show you what the want to show you. Whatever political party is in power, whatever narrative they want you to follow, they are going to show you that. And most people that are going to watch are going to see, oh my God, look what's happened. Look what's happening. Look what has happened in Gaza. Look what has happened over the years. Look at the displacement, the people have killed, and they blame it on you're putting human shields and you're putting your military things under hospitals and things like that. But you are freely allowed to go into any country, any place in the world and do as you please and bomb it and just destroy the country. Uplift their governments. Do as you please with no repercussions whatsoever. Israel says that Iran has nuclear bombs. They've signed the treaty and have allowed people to come in there. You never have signed that treaty. You do have nuclear bombs. That is a fact. Whether you want to admit or not, it is a fact. You have it. Now, you haven't used it, which is a great thing, and thank God for that. But you have it. Why is what is good for you is not good for anyone else? Why is it that you can dictate, and I'm saying you, and that also includes a couple other countries, that you can say that I can do this and I can do that, but you can't do it. And you're doing this to protect your sovereignty and your nation, but they are not allowed to protect their sovereignty and their nation? It makes no sense. And it never will make sense, because we are going to keep getting fed the lines that they want us to be fed. And you are going to have a mass majority, and more than likely a 60-40 or a 50-50 agreeing or disagreeing to it, which we never come to a conclusion. But the fact of the matter is, people are dying. Lots of people are dying. Children are dying. Nothing is being resolved. You are just turning. All you're doing is, it's job creation. Job creation. Okay? And that's what I say in the industry that I'm in, is job creation. If we can create other work, it keeps us busy and it keeps us working and moving and making money. You're blowing up buildings, destroying towns, destroying families, destroying hospitals, destroying. It's job creation. What happens? Now, the biggest thing everyone always knows is when it comes to how do you want to boost an economy, start a war. It will boost an economy. You are going to have to build tanks. You're going to have to build ammunition and aircraft and enlist people and do all these things, and food and commodities and all these things that people need. That's all we're doing. We're destroying buildings. We're destroying places. We're destroying families. And all it does is creates new work. We are just job creation. That's all it is. Nothing is being solved. You know who's enriching themselves? The billionaires and all these other people and CEOs and people that want land that has maybe specific goods underneath it and things of that sort, like what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. And everyone knows Ukraine is sitting on they are just sitting on just trillions of dollars worth of resources that, you know what, the U.S. and the Russians do not care about. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the country. They care about the resources and how much money can be made and profited and how many arms and ammunition we can make out of it. That's what they're going after. And that is what's happening in the Middle East right now with Iran and Israel. They want to decimate them. They want to get rid of them. And Iran said, finally, we've had enough. And they started striking back. And now we've noticed that your Iron Dome is more like an iron cone. Everything's just going over and around it, and nothing's really happening to it. And now these desperate pleas for help. And look what they've done to Israel, and look, and look, and look. Look at Gaza. Look at Iran. Look at all these different countries that have been decimated now and over the years, over past times. Afghanistan, just completely decimated. Look at videos of Afghanistan back in the 50s and 60s. Look at the kind of place it was. It looked like a place that me and you would have been in, with people just walking the streets and living their life and doing good things. And now look at the way they are now. It makes no sense. Someone, anyone, and I'm sure there'll be a lot, and I hope there is, these are engaging conversations that need to be had. Let's have these conversations. Let's figure out why what is happening is happening. How can we stop it? The billionaires are enriching themselves. The millionaires are enriching themselves. They will continue to succeed. They will continue to be rich. But you know who's not? Is the people that are being decimated there. The people are being destroyed and they're being bombed. And that happens on both sides. And I'm not taking any side here whatsoever. Israelis are being killed. Iranians are being killed. Palestinians are being killed. All these people are being killed in the name of what? They will throw the narrative they want to throw at you to justify their means. But what is the final end result? Trump said that he wants to turn Palestine into this oasis and whatever, and that's all it is. They're looking destruction, job creation. Get rid of it. We're going to create a new one there. Just like they've done with all these other places. They've overthrown Egyptian governments. They've overthrown the Libyan governments. Anyone who defies their logic gets overthrown. And they blame it and they say the people have uproared and they've done this and they've done that, but they overthrow, they put the people they want in there to justify their means and to keep building their masses, and that is their money, and putting it and making it a place that they love. The people that live in these countries love their countries, they love their culture, and they love their people. We are making them love what they don't need to love. Let them be them. Listen, none of these people can hit United States, Canada, Britain. Most of them can't. Yeah, fine, you've got your China, your Russia, your North Korea. Fine, they can do it. Those are different stories. You can have those discussions in the background. But these little countries that have nothing to do with you, what are you involving yourself in it for? What are you literally involving yourself in something that has nothing to do with you? It is not your biblical war. They can't reach you with their missiles, even if they wanted to. You have planted bases all over the world to make sure that you can get yourself involved in whatever it is you want to get involved in at any given time for the sake of democracy. But what you are failing to understand is that the people, the places, their heritage is all being destroyed. And that is on both sides, not Israeli and not Iranian. It's on all sides being destroyed. Their culture, their way of life, their well-being, their mental capacity, everything is being destroyed. And you know what? In 30, 40, 50 years from now, a lot of these countries that had their things that they believed in and their ideologies are all going to be gone, lost, and forgotten. And it's all going to be in place by a new-found government and a new way of life. And we're just trying to make life better for you. Talk to me. What is actually happening? What is going to be the result? And really, who's going to win at the end of this? And we already know who's going to win. But I'm actually very happy to see that someone is defending themselves, as they should. Whether they win or lose, defend yourself. At this point, what do you have to lose? You have nothing else to lose. You have the whole world against you. Just fight it. When it's done, and it's over with. You know, you can't fight the inevitable. And I hope the inevitable is not the inevitable that they want it to be. And I hope the inevitable ends up being something that is actually justifiable. But let's talk. What's going on?